Hey guys, if you are new to my channel, my name is Jules. In 2023, I moved from Sydney, Australia to Milan in Italy, and I studied an intensive Italian course for 8 weeks. I made a few little TikToks on it, and it was scattered throughout my Milan vlogs. So I've had a number of DMs, questions, blah blah blah, asking me for more information about the school. So today I'm going to break down the experience of studying at Scuola Leonardo da Vinci. I have my laptop here because I had to write a whole bunch of notes about it so that I wouldn't just yap and ramble. I've got the mini mic going today. I know it's a little bit sketchy, but there's a lot of background noise. My neighbor's mowing his lawn, my brother's in the other room shouting on the phone to his friend. You know, do you want the video or not? When I was researching to go overseas and study Italian, it was really difficult to find somebody's experience of it. All I could find were the websites, things like that. And I feel like that doesn't really give you a good feel for it. It can be such a daunting task to enroll in something from another country, organize all the logistics of it when you're not actually there, and I found it really hard to get a feel for what it was going to be like. Before moving to Milan, I had basically done next to no traveling. I'd never been to a country where the main language wasn't English, so this felt like a very big daunting task for me. So I'm hoping I can provide a little bit of insight today and make the process smoother for you and make you feel a little bit more relaxed about it, because I know it's a big daunting thing. The name of the school that I went to is on the screen. I'll also have them linked in the description box so that you can check out their website. They operate in a few locations around Italy: Turin, Florence, Rome, Milan. I think there might be one more. First, I'm going to give you a little bit of context as to why I wanted to study Italian and my personal goals, just for background. But if you want to skip right past this, I'll try and put a timestamp on. I've always wanted to live overseas. I was supposed to do it with university, but it didn't end up happening because of COVID. So I finished my degree, I graduated, and then the next day I flew to Milan. I didn't have too much of an idea of what I wanted to do when I was in Italy, so studying Italian was really positive for a number of key reasons. Being at school gave me a routine to get up and do something every day instead of just being lost and floundering in this new country that I was in. I was able to make some amazing friends from being at class, and it's really the only reason I had friends in Milan was those classes. And we did everything together. Friends that I made from this school genuinely feel like family. And also practically, you have a high chance of finding work if you can speak Italian. And also it's so helpful to know what's going on. Being able to understand just a little bit of what's happening, it makes you feel so much more confident and more comfortable living abroad. I'm going to do my best to be short and snappy. This is what we're going to cover: the enrollment process, location of the school, getting to school, so the transport, lesson types and prices, finding accommodation, an overview of what it's like to be in class, and extra things the school offers. Let's get rolling. First up, we're going to talk about the enrollment process. Once you've settled on the course that you want to do, you can enroll right from their website. I was very nervous and had quite a few questions. I also just didn't want to be scammed, and you just never know. You never know. So I clicked on the ask for information button and sent them through just an email with questions prior to enrolling. The school got back to me within like a day. I think they were super efficient, and they offered to set up a Zoom call. We organized a time, and it was really comforting to speak to an actual person. The lady I spoke to was very friendly. She was also fluent in English, and she'd done this a million times, so she was very well versed in the enrollment process, visa applications, the city itself, just any kind of concerns you had, and very willing to send through extra information. Once I felt super comfortable about the whole thing, I paid online. They sent me through the confirmation and asked for a photo of my passport so they could arrange the enrollment certificate. Next, let's talk about the location of the school. If you've never been to Milan, if you're from Australia especially, or like a big country, Milan feels incredibly small, and it's actually incredibly easy to get around. Being from Sydney, I literally travel an hour and a half every day to get to work because everything is so spread out. Everything in Milan is just a lot easier. And the school is in a really good location. It's a 15-minute walk from the iconic Duomo, which is in the main square. All the famous photos of Milan, it is literally a 15-minute walk from that location. There's loads of cafes and restaurants and bars around that area. It's also super close to two very important universities. If you're planning to study in Milan and you're going to one of those universities, it's super close to those as well. It's a really lovely area to go to school in. It feels quite safe, and it's very central, so after school you can go and explore. I also want to talk about how you get to school. So transport. Milan is a very well-connected city. You're not going to have any issues if you don't drive. I would never drive in Italy. I'm not brave enough. I recommend you purchase an ATM card. Unless you're in walking distance from the school, you're probably going to want to take their public transport system. So I would definitely recommend getting an ATM card as one of your first tasks when you land in the city. Basically, it's a little card with a photo on it. I'll put a photo of mine here. You top it up every month with a certain fee depending on if you're below or over 26 years of age, and for that fee you have unlimited access to the buses, trams, metro, trips for that month. If you want more information about these types of things, I might make a second video about top tips for living in Milan. Otherwise I'll try and link the ATM website as well in the description. There are some conditions around it, so I think you can only use the ATM card within certain zones of Milan, because Milan is like basically separated into these circular zones. There's an initial fee for the card and then you top it up every month. I think I paid €25 a month because I'm under 26. Literally the best thing ever. If you do not buy an ATM card, it's going to cost you €220 a ticket, like per trip. It ends up being crazy expensive. Then we have lesson types and prices. I'm going to speak off my experience, but I will also put the table that is on the website here. And again, the website is linked, so you can go and explore a little bit further if the course I did does not sound right for you. The school offers both in-person and online courses, group sessions, and private classes. I did the intensive course for an 8-week duration. It says 20 lessons a week, which equates to 4 lessons a day. I don't know how they split this up. Like, I really don't understand this, but basically it's 3 hours every day, 5 days a week. I was in the very beginner class and they told me that it would be a morning session because I'm in the beginners. My school day began at 9:30 a.m. and finished at 12:15 p.m. and we had a 15-minute break in the middle. The pricing is really transparent. It's all on their website. The discount increases as the number of weeks increases. And they have a calculator on the website. So you can literally just put in the number of weeks that you're going to attend and the type of course you want to do, and it will spit out the exact cost. I did look into a number of schools. Price-wise, it all seems to be pretty much about the same. Pretty standard pricing. Okay, next up is finding accommodation. I get a lot of DMs about people asking me how did I find accommodation in Milan. I'm aware that there are different sites and ways to find accommodation. I actually just asked the school to do it for me. I think it was a little bit more expensive, but it saved me a lot of time, and it also meant that if there were any issues, I could go to the school, get them to help me with any problems I was facing in the apartment I was in. They have a number of options. You can stay with a host family, you can have a private apartment, a shared apartment. I wanted a private apartment and I asked them about this and they said they couldn't guarantee it, so I think that's just a question you need to ask. Also, this Instagram page that is called Bocconi Spot. So Bocconi is a university in Milan, and obviously a lot of people are looking to live around that university. They want to find like an apartment or a flatmate. So basically what this Instagram page does is you DM them with the details. So like, I want an apartment for 6 weeks living with 2 other people, only girls, or whatever you want to say. And then they put that on their story and people can reply to it. There are probably other pages like that, but that's the only one that I know of. I also want to extend my stay and they were able to accommodate that. I was doing a 6-week course and then I had these 2 weeks I didn't know what to do with. So I was like, oh, I'll just extend my course, and they found me a new apartment to move into for the last 2 weeks. It was €30 a night. I lived in 2 different apartments. My first apartment, I lived in the landlord's extra bedroom. It was quite a big space, and we just shared the kitchen and the bathroom. Same for my second apartment. I was living not with the landlord, but the landlord's cleaner. Actually, she immigrated to Milan and was doing work as the housekeeper for this landlord who had multiple apartments, and she was so lovely, and it was actually a really nice experience living with those people. They both spoke Italian, so I got plenty of practice while I was at the apartment as well, which was really cool. It was a really, really smooth process. I didn't have to do any of the paperwork. They just did it for me. I signed off, and I always felt very safe and very supported. I'm going to quickly go over what it's like to be in class. The classes are never bigger than 14 people, quite small, so you get a lot of one-on-one attention. The teachers are all native Italian speakers, so they have an amazing grasp on the language. The teachers are very, very accommodating, and any questions they're always happy to help you with about the city itself, about Italian, absolutely anything. They're all just really nice people. They give you all of the material, so any workbooks. They gave me a folder, a pen, a workbook when I first came, so that was really good. There's no extra cost involved in buying materials because they give it all to you. We did so many different exercises. We did group discussions, we came up with like stories in Italian, played tons of games, we watched things, we read things, we did little quizzes. Very, very interactive and tons of different things, so no day was the same and no day was boring. Really enjoyed the lessons. They were very engaging and I felt like I learnt a lot very quickly. We're going to wrap this video up. I'm going to tell you a few little extra things about the school and a few little things that they offer. There was a very fun lady there that organized activities and events every week. She would come around on a Monday, I think, and give you the rundown of what was going on. There's so many different things at so many different price points. There's a really famous theater in Milan, Teatro alla alla Scala, something like that. I'll put the name on the screen. They organize shows to that, so you could buy tickets to those shows. Sometimes they get it at a bit of a discounted price, so like ballets, operas, things like that. They did tours around the Duomo and different museums. I became friends with one girl at the first activity, which was like a museum tour. It was all in Italian, so we understood basically nothing, but it was really fun and it was completely free. I wouldn't have gone to that museum if they didn't organize it because I didn't know about it, and it was just a good way to see a little bit of the city, and I didn't have to organize the experience, so it was really cool. I think there was something on every single day of the week. They did go-karting, sports tournaments, aperitivo, wine tasting. My friends and I did that. It was really fun. We went to a cantina and the wine was being made. This little area, the guide gave us a whole rundown of where the grapes were from, how the wine was produced, flavor profiles, like everything. And then we had an aperitivo kind of thing, and tasted all the wines, and it was just like a really fun night. It's actually a really nice memory for me as well, because I think I was about 5 weeks into the course and the guy was speaking very slowly and very simply, but it was the first time that I understood. Someone was talking to me and I was understanding what he was saying. It was really cool. It was like a click moment. So you kind of get to put everything that you learn in class into practice as well, which is pretty cool. They also can give you loads of recommendations for where to eat, where to party, where to get your phone plan, and they had a discount thing for the phone plans as well, which I wish I had known about and taken advantage of because it was pretty cheap for a lot of gigabytes of data. Their website did say that there is a school card they offer with which you can receive discounts for various museums and parties, internet cafes, sports facilities, things like that. I asked about this, but I didn't really push it. Can't remember what the response was, but I never got one. So I don't know. You could ask about this if that's something that you really want. I'm going to wrap up the video here. Overall, studying Italian was the best decision I made moving to Milan, and I think this school was really well-rounded and offered a really good selection of courses and just supported you through the whole process. They even organized my transfer from the airport to my accommodation the day I arrived in Milan. I arrived at 7 in the morning in Milan on a Sunday, and Ubers are so expensive in Milan. Like I said, I'd never been anywhere, so I was so nervous to step out, try and look for a taxi, try and tell the man where I was trying to go, not get scammed into paying like 200 euros for a taxi ride. They organized that whole process. Somebody came and picked me up at the airport, took my bags, put them in the car, drove me to my new apartment. It was such a perfect, smooth process, and I really appreciated that. It made my experience moving to Milan very, very clean and very comfortable and very easy. I absolutely loved getting up every day and going to school. I met some amazing people there. I always felt very supported. The environment was fun. The location was great. It was easy to get to. Classes are super engaging. I learned a lot. Overall, like a 10 out of 10 experience. I really love this school. I would love to go back and study there again. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them, or I'll make a follow-up video. If you want to support me, you can just give the video a like if it was helpful. That would be amazing. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed. Maybe I'll see you around. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy your stay in Milan. Like, seriously feel like I left a piece of my heart there. I love it to death. Anyway, I'll see you guys around. Bye!